You've been told that submission is for the weak, that it means laying down and letting the world walk over you. You've been told that control is your only protection. But what if that lie is exactly why you're exhausted? What if submission isn't a white flag? What if it's a military strategy? We treat control like a shield, but it's actually a cage. Every area of your life where you refuse to submit is an area where you have to play God, and you were never meant to carry that weight. The control trap is a spiritual siege that burns through your strength and leaves you vulnerable. Submission is a calculated tactical move. It is a relocation of your authority. When you submit to God, you aren't losing. You are moving under a different umbrella of protection. You are transferring the liability of your life to the sovereign commander. It is the ultimate power play. James 4:7 gives us the sequence. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. You've been trying to resist the devil without submitting to the king. That's why you're losing. Resistance without submission is just human effort. Submission is where the resistance gets its power. Today, we are exposing the 4 laws of the submission test. Law number 1, the sovereign shield. Submission is the act of stepping behind the only shield that can stop the arrows of the enemy. You don't have to be strong enough if you are submitted enough. The shield is your starting point, but there is a second law of submission that reveals the exact power of position you've been missing. I'm going to show you that law in the next 3 minutes. Don't move. Welcome back to the briefing. You've accepted the strategy. You understand that submission is a military relocation, but now you must find your position. In the kingdom of God, power is not personal, it is positional. If you are out of place, you are out of power. You cannot carry the authority of the throne if you are not standing before it. Every area of your life that feels chaotic is an area where you have moved out of rank. You've stepped outside the fortress and into the line of fire, wondering why the shield isn't working. It isn't a power failure, it's a position failure. The greatest example of spiritual power in the Bible didn't come from a prophet. It came from a military commander, a man who understood the mechanics of command better than the religious leaders of his day. Matthew 8:9. The centurion said to Jesus, "For I also am a man under authority, having soldiers under me." Look at his logic. He didn't lead with what he had over people. He led with what he was under. This is law number 2, the law of delegated authority. Authority is not something you possess. It is something you represent. You are a conduit for the power of the king, not the source of it. Most Christians are trying to be the battery. They're trying to generate their own peace, their own strength, their own breakthrough. But when the battery dies, the defense fails. You were never meant to be the battery. You are the conduit. You want the storm to stop, but you won't stop your own pride. You want the enemy to flee, but you are in rebellion to your own commander. You cannot exercise authority over what you are not submitted to. Real authority flows down, not out. When you move under the authority of God, His entire kingdom moves to back you up. A targeting reticle from heaven locks onto your struggle because you have stayed in rank. This is the power of position. You don't have to fight the battle. You just have to represent the throne. When you are in your assigned rank, you are immovable. You are a sovereign creation in a sovereign position. Submission is the act of aligning your vertical position so that your horizontal authority becomes absolute. The centurion knew that as long as he was under Caesar, he had Caesar's power. As long as you are under Christ, you have the kingdom. But what happens when you try to step out? When you decide that you know better than the blacksmith? The connection flickers, the authority vanishes, and you are left fighting giants with a stick instead of a sovereign decree. Today, we are recalibrating your position. We are moving from the chaos of my will to the precision of His rank. This is where the true submission test begins. You have to decide, who is the commander? But there is a final trap, the usurper's lie, that tries to pull you out of rank just before the victory manifests. I'm going to show you that lie in the next 3 minutes. Stay in position. Part 2, complete. There is a voice in your head that sounds like protection, but it's actually a coup. It's the usurper, the part of you that says, submit everything else to God, but keep this one thing. This one area is yours to manage. But that one area is exactly why you're losing the war. We think 99% surrender is enough. We give God our Sundays, our families, and our careers. But we hold on to our secret fears or our private addictions. But a fragmented submission results in a fragmented authority. The 99% trap is a spiritual loophole the enemy uses to bypass your shield. Law number 3, the law of total surrender. Total power requires total surrender. There are no middle ground positions in the kingdom. You are either under the commander or you are on your own. Total surrender isn't about God taking from you. It's about Him being able to back you up. Luke 14:33 is the hard requirement. Whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Jesus wasn't being mean, he was being tactical. He cannot lead a soldier who refuses to move when the order is given. Your all is the price of admission to his power. The usurper's lie is that your control is your security, but the areas you hold on to are the areas where the enemy has a target lock on you. Your control is his leverage. When you let go, he loses his grip. Submission is the act of disarming the enemy's highest weapon. When you hit 100%, the alignment is complete. The authority of the throne is no longer restricted. You have passed the third law. You have moved from a fragmented citizen to a sovereign agent of the kingdom. You are now ready for the final weapon. You've identified the strategy. You've secured your position. You've surrendered the field. Now, we reach the end of the test. I'm going to show you the sovereign finish, the moment when the submission becomes a victory. Final chapter. Next, submission isn't just a protection, it's a portal. When the test is over and the submission is absolute, the fire stops and the power begins. This is the sovereign finish. You have moved from a man trying to manage his life to a representative of the kingdom. Law number 4, the law of the sovereign finish. God is the author and the finisher of your faith. He didn't bring you into the fire to leave you there. He is bringing you out with a testimony that will shake the ground you walk on. The submission was the preparation for the manifestation. The world sees your submission as losing. God sees it as qualifying. You have qualified for the next level of your destiny. You have passed the test. Now, step out of the forge and into the field. The Lord has fought for you, and the field is yours. If you are ready to walk in your sovereign authority, type "I receive peace" in the comments right now. This is Faith for Real Life. Subscribe for more deep dives into the truths that change everything. Stand firm. Victory is yours.